and welcome to episode 13 of the Timing Podcast. Unfortunately, 2/3 is this week. How you doing, Craig?
I'm not bad, Ewan. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I was nursing a very minor hangover earlier.
Oh dear.
However...
Oh, lovely.
So that's a Alska mango and yellow mandarin cider. Vegan friendly.
Fruity once again, mate. People are going to start talking.
Well, I've only ever had one cider. Wait, have I? No, wait, two. Fuck
No
knows.
idea. Well, I can't do the honorary noise of the podcast because I'm drinking out a bottle, unfortunately. So I'm having a bottle of 80s Revival, which is from Cool Brewing Company in Glenrothes. Really, really good, underrated little micro distillery in my hometown as well. So, yeah, brilliant.
What kind of beer is it?
I'm trying to work it out, mate. It's somewhere between a lager and... It's a shilling ale. Even for someone like me who generally knows alcohol, I have no fucking idea what a shilling ale is.
I'm
but it's
glad
an
you
ale.
said that because the exact words that I was thinking is, I have not a fucking clue what that is.
What the fuck is a shilling ale? So, yeah.
Oh well, better than nothing, I suppose. So, this week, a bit different. We're talking about, well, the topic this week is streaming. We've obviously been doing a bit more on Twitch.
Yeah.
And we thought it would be a good idea, seeing as there's only 2 years, maybe a bit less technical limitations, to try and stream it at the same time. Downside is people will see how bad we actually are and how much goes into editing.
They'll see how much heavy editing we do in the actual episodes. But
On the plus side, people can maybe tune in and, jump in, fire in questions.
Yeah, interact, and then you'll obviously be on the full edited episode as well, which is quite cool.
That's pretty cool.
Ewan and I both agreed to obviously run this through Twitch as well, and stream, obviously, because that's the topic. I'm going to let Ewan get into it as he's this week's host, but I just wanted to give a shout out to 3 certain streamers, if you don't mind, Ewan, just before we get kicked off.
Go ahead.
First one being Chuck's Speedbag. Excuse me. Unedited. Hold on.
Yeah, we edit all the Rona out of the podcast.
I think I'm shitting. Oh my god.
You swallowed a shilling from your ale.
I think I've died. Hold on, I'll get back. Ewan, go and plug socials.
I don't think I can.
Oh my god, I can't actually breathe. I just went completely dry.
Okay, go away and sort yourself out. Obviously, I've socials and stuff in the description, but at Time In Podcast 1 on Twitter, Time_in_podcast on Instagram, yep. And obviously the Twitch has been very active, which is partially the theme of this week's episode. You okay now, Craig?
I'm alive in some sense. My voice might sound a bit strange, but...
Okay, you were saying 3 streamers.
Yeah, so 3 streamers I'd really like to shout out, who's been really supportive with the first couple of weeks of us going live on Twitch. First one being Chuck Speedbag, really cool guy from the States, does a lot of sort of general chatting, live streams, really cool guy, really knowledgeable about the industry as well, does a bit of gaming. Next one would be, I'll try to pronounce this right, Georgia, mate. Her and her friends have been really supportive on streams, been really interactive, and she streams, I think, every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday, and she's actually streaming live now. Again, she showed us a lot of support, so please send that back their way. Last of all, the man himself, Big Bob, fat Scottish man. He has the best name in Twitch ever. He does a lot of...
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, he does a lot of DayZ. I've actually jumped onto his Discord, tried to play the game with him and his mates. Really good community, really sound guy, and he's been really supportive as well. He's actually done a deal. If I can get my t-shirt, he's going to send us all mugs.
Oh, nice. Well, he is actually going to be on the podcast for an episode because we do need a DayZ expert to talk about it. In fact, we might weave it into a Battle Royale episode or something, but really cool guy, really cool guy. Recommend all of those streams. Definitely.
Yeah, but I just wanted to give the 3 people in particular a shout out. But sorry, mate, it's your episode. Go for it. Now,
what I was going to say is we've got a section here where we shout out more streamers, so that's perfect. But we'll get to that later on. We'll get to that in the middle, I'd say.
Yeah.
So we were going to talk about streaming. The 2 main platforms you can probably split it into at the moment are Twitch and YouTube. So obviously, people who are watching live, they know what it is. Twitch is a streaming platform accessible to pretty much anyone in terms of watching and streaming. Allows people to show what you're doing in real time, and I'd say it's mostly used for gaming. That being said, and you'll hear it in the streamer feature interviews that we're doing, worth noting that we'll edit those in. Obviously can't do them live, but we have them recorded. Really cool people. So Bundy watches a streamer who does woodworking. I think it's a guy from New Zealand, but he's great. He just lives off the environment almost. And he said he didn't want money, he didn't want people to give him money, and in typical Twitch fashion, people gave him a lot of money and he felt bad and he was trying to return it. It's cold. Oh, it's just bizarre. So I thought I'd start out by asking, what do you watch on Twitch?
Do you know one of the big ones I've been watching recently, and it's not just the gaming side, and when it does come to the gaming side, I quite like to watch smaller streamers. People are maybe not in the same boat as us, like just starting, but kind of in the in-between, because I feel as though you get a bit more interaction with them, and there's maybe a bit of possibility to do some stuff together. One of the sort of genres I've been looking at, which is pretty incredible, is live art. So that kind of goes into your woodworking thing a bit. Have you seen some of the live art channels?
No, I've not watched any of that.
So like it can either be that you place a donation or you suggest someone to draw, say, a celebrity or whatnot. And some of the artwork's incredible. And actually, there's a famous streamer called Syndicate, which you'll know, which is Tom. And he buys a lot of his artwork from art streamers online. Some of the stuff's incredible. The other one as well, unfortunately, I'm really sorry, I can't remember the Twitch username, but someone who's followed us recently, it was a lady, and she was doing live music today.
Oh, really?
And it was really interesting. So she was playing keyboard, she was doing a bit of singing. At one point, she was playing a bit of acoustic guitar, and it's really nice to see that Twitch isn't just that platform for gaming. It's kind of got a whole different genre on it.
I mean, when you look at musicians, it's such a hard field to get a big break in and to find an audience, if you like, because you're trying to get into pubs and bars and stuff to play music or venues. If you can do it online like this, it's perfect. Still the same amount of pressure, I would say, if not more, but you know.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're getting that live interaction, so you can literally interact with someone straight away, and almost get suggestions live at stake as well. So if someone says, like, why don't you try this? Why don't you try doing this sort of technique? You're getting that feedback instantly.
Aye.
So I think it's pretty good in that sense. And one of the things I noticed as well, which is really good for us, how popular Just Chatting and podcast, the podcast section is on Twitch especially. Yeah. It's really popular, and it does bring in a lot of viewership. So fingers crossed that'll happen to us in the upcoming weeks as we continue to work on it.
Oh, definitely. Well, that was one of the things I was going to mention. Do you think Twitch is possibly racing... Well, I'll say streaming platforms, but we'll say Twitch in this case, is replacing TV for some people. So, for example, you might not put the TV on and just see what's on, but you would just watch Twitch instead.
I couldn't agree more. We've touched on it on previous episodes, but I need to speak about YouTube hand in hand with it. I think they do go hand in hand.
Yeah, I'll give you section 2 of this episode. No, really.
I'll not go into it too much, but what I'll say is an example. If you look at the Sidemen, I think they are the biggest British YouTube community.
Yeah.
I guarantee anyone from the ages of 10 to maybe 30, generally will tune into that like a TV show for every Sidemen Sunday.
Yeah.
So
we'll get to that because they are for us probably the peak.
Yeah, but again, I'll not go into it too much because obviously you're going to go into the YouTube side, but it's just that's a bit of a no-brainer and kind of answer the question. It's the same with Twitch as well. I found myself, when I'm not streaming, that I'll sit and interact with someone. So say I'm having something to eat or I'm doing a bit of editing or whatever, I'll then turn on Twitch and interact with people whilst doing something else rather than just going, fuck it, let's put it on the telly.
See what you mean.
So,
I think you're right. What I thought was strange is I don't think people go to watch. I think they do go to watch high skill gameplay and people doing the best of the best. But I think it's more about who's entertaining. So, perfect example I can think of with, Fall Guys coming out was Tim the Tap Man.
Oh, he's won. I did see he's won actually.
Had he is at the game, but it's by no means an easy game. But you had like Dr. Lupo. You had you had Lupo. Who else was it? Was it Cypher or someone? Symphony? taking the piss out of Tim the Tatman in their stream titles, but he had 115,000 people watching him.
Oh, it's
and
insane.
He's not good, but he's entertaining, you know.
Yeah.
Nah, and I do think things like that. So if you're not going for the gaming, what makes it unique to gaming? Absolutely nothing. It's just entertainment. So there's nothing to stop it from overtaking TV.
Yeah, there's a point you made. I don't know if it was in the nostalgia episode. I think it was, and it was the change in how you look at sort of younger sort of children / teenagers now. Like after school, we would go out and do something, or we would go to someone's house and play a local game, say the likes of Halo. Now that's pretty much gone, I would argue, and it's so much right. I'll go on and I'll see you on live. I think it's the same thing when you talk about platforms like Twitch and YouTube, because they already have a setup available for them to play online with friends. They also have a setup there in their hand to turn on whatever sort of content, whatever sort of program they want, and it's not a case of they need to flick through general TV and with their parents, etc. It's completely accessible and it's all there. So, yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. It is replacing TV, 110%. 110%.
Like Netflix, because it's like on demand. You choose what you want to watch when you want to watch it. You don't say, "Oh, I need to be home by 8 o'clock because I have to go home for Strictly Come Dancing."
Hey,
now I can get an iPlayer. You know what I mean.
I'm not going to get into the big political rant, but there's things that public TV has done that's pretty unforgivable, and there's like TV license and all this sort of thing. People aren't stupid anymore. Like, they understand that they don't need to pay for certain things, and they can get entertainment in different ways. So, but I'm not going to go down a big rant because that could open a whole kettle of fish. So,
on a lighter note, let's talk about one of the biggest dubs in the history of Twitch. So we'll speak about Ninja, who is, I would say, the person who really spearheaded Twitch and made streaming mainstream. And he's on TV shows like Ellen trying to explain it to people. that was hard to watch. But if you ever want a good interview with him, listen to True Geordie interviewing Ninja is gold. Yeah,
I was going to say, I actually really didn't like him until I seen that interview with True Geordie.
Yeah, he's genuinely a funny guy, and this is something I never realised, bearing in mind how big Destiny fans we are. See, when the beta came out for Destiny 1, he was one of the top streamers for it, and then he had to stop because he needed surgery on his eye, or he had an eye condition, and there was a risk he was going to lose his sight. Think about how essential that is to his craft, if you like.
I know.
And then when he came back, because he was that low in the viewings, he didn't get back up to the peak and ended up moving on to different games. But he could have been a big Destiny streamer, which is pretty nuts. So if you look at him and how much he was making from Twitch, that was insane on its own. But then you talk about the deal where he moved to Mixer.
But you've actually missed something earlier than that. The deal that he made with Red Bull.
Or Adidas, even more recently.
That came later on,
smashing through all these barriers.
Like, an athletics company sponsoring a gamer. Like, it's unheard of. I know, but it's unheard of, isn't it?
Well, it is, but I agree with them in a sense that it shouldn't be looked at differently to some other sports. So, for example, you can say I'm an athlete, I'm fit, I play football, baseball, basketball, whatever. Are darts players still playing a sport? Yes. Do any of them look like athletes? No. I've never looked at a darts player and thought they belong in a pitch instead of a pub. That's just, it's bizarre. But in the same sense, it uses different skills, so precision, control. It's a huge mental aspect to it, so I do think it's appropriate that it's considered a sport. So making crazy money, for example, $30 million to go to Mixer?
It was something insane. I don't know the actual number off the top of my head, but I know it was something pretty damn incredible.
And then to add to that, was it about a year later, Mixer shut down? He's a free agent again, he can make whatever money he wants.
Aye, but because of his contract, he got paid out.
I know, it's insane he got the money. Biggest dub in the history of streaming.
It's insane. The guy's made more money because a company's went bust that he works for.
I know. And don't get me
it's
wrong,
insane.
What I thought was horrible, and they really shot themselves in the foot with it, Twitch, was that when he left Twitch, there was a huge scandal about his channel and they were advertising dodgy things where his channel essentially used to be. I think it was porn at one point they were putting on it, and that's wrong because obviously a lot of his viewership is going to be younger.
Yeah.
And there was other streamers that when they left Twitch done a big video about it and said, all the best moving on, done a highlight video. They could have done that for him. He's done more for them than any other streamer, I would argue. And so when he moved to Mixer and they done that, they burnt all bridges. And then what's happened is Mixer's shut. He's had a choice between, do I go to YouTube or do I go back to Twitch? That's an easy decision for him at that point. Fuck Twitch.
Of course it is. Of course it is. But YouTube will be throwing the money at him because he's got a track record of the numbers that he brings in.
Oh, yeah.
And if YouTube can take that away from Twitch, and I know you're going to touch on this anyway, of course they're going to welcome with open arms saying, look, what do you need? What can we give you?
Well, at some point there's going to be a tipping point where YouTube becomes bigger, if it's not already, but as I say, we'll get on to that. Yeah, so for me, that's one of the most entertaining lines I see in Twitch. I love the way Twitch works. We're on Twitch. I like the way you've got the achievement system. It's like a game. It's a great platform, but I think they handled that situation wrong.
Yeah, definitely. My question would be, right, why did Mixer not succeed? Why? Because I don't know the answer, but why was it that it struggled so much up against Twitch? Obviously, Twitch has got Amazon behind it, which is I think now has just been declared the most successful company in the world. It's now overtaken Microsoft in regards to revenue.
Well, when everyone's working from home, ordering desks and mics off Amazon.
I know. But what do you know? What is it? Why is it Mixer struggled so much in comparison?
I think it's because Twitch was more established and had a bigger base, and in a platform that's highly dependent on viewership.
Yeah,
that was important. Now, people like Ninja going didn't even sway it, so that it made Mixer bigger, but it still wasn't on the same level as Twitch, and even his numbers dropped drastically. So if you're bigger in terms of money, you're looking at Twitch, you're not looking at Mixer, which is arguably why there's no other platforms can really rise from nowhere and compete.
Yeah, one thing I would say though, for the example that I tried, using Mixer on an Xbox One is far easier than it is Twitch, and it's far easier to control, communicate with viewers, etc. Twitch can be a bit of a pain, as we've seen.
Well, that being said, I've tried it on Xbox and PS4 now. See, if you use it on PS4, it is so easy. You start a stream with two buttons, you can get the messages read out to you, which admittedly, you run the risk of people writing things they shouldn't. But
yeah, true.
It was good.
Bundy said the same thing, so he was a little bit nervous because we're all new to this. We've not done this before, and I've been doing it from more of the PC side. Mm-hmm. And Bundy was like, "Look, can you give me a hand setting up?" And I was like, "Look, I'll do what I can, but it should be quite different." He literally plugged in. He was like, "Right, I'm streaming." He's like, "Can you check the quality? Everything's spot on. Microphone absolutely brilliant." And I'm like, "Fuck's sake! It takes me like 2 hours to get that set up on my PC."
I know it does a lot of it for you. To be fair, in the background. One last thing before we got into the newest section, I wanted to give a shout out to a guy called The Voice of Nick. He's too busy, so he can't be on a podcast, understandable. But he does a podcast called The Twitch Playbook. I think it's just under 100 episodes. They're all about 10 minutes long. So if you did want to start doing Twitch, just listening to that, it makes it very clear that you don't need much equipment. You don't need many skills. Makes it all dead simple for you. It's quite interesting. Even if you don't want to, it's a good listen. He's got a relaxing voice. It's not quite ASMR, but it's not far off it.
So it's not like us. It's a complete contrast of the three of us.
Aye, that's if you want a break, that's a good place to go. So, newest section that we have is going to be the weekly streamer feature. So the idea behind this was that there's that many streamers need more exposure and deserve viewership. So we've done a sort of post on Twitter. By the way, we're going to do this more than once. We'll hopefully do it every month or every couple of weeks. Yeah. We look for a streamer to have a quick 5 or 10 minute interview with us to promote their channel, tell us a bit about them, the games they play or what they do, any goals they've got, why they stream, and the unusual question I decided to add, because we all like it, the question, if you could go to a bar with any 3 people, what I asked them was, if you could have any guest on your stream to stream with you, who would it be and why? Same idea, so it could be anyone. Interestingly, the first ones, they both chose streamers, but we'll let you listen to it. So we interviewed them during the week. We're going to edit that in. Can't do it now because it's live, obviously. So this is me introducing the streamer feature. We'll insert it here. So for our first streamer feature, would you please tell us your name?
I'm English 995.
Very easy. Where can people find you?
They can find me at Twitch TV or twitch.tv/I'm English 995 or on Facebook, Discord, Twitter.
Perfect. And we'll make sure all the links are in the bottom as well so everybody can find you. So do you want to tell us a bit about how long you've been streaming and why you started?
So I've probably been streaming more in the last sort of 3-4 months. I was on and off for like 4 years, but then life got in the way, and now just decided to do it a little bit more and try and get a bit of a following. So most nights now during the week. So
that's good. Perfect. So tell us what you usually play or what you do on your channel. I say do because we spoke about a channel where a guy does woodworking and it's almost crowdfunded. It's bizarre, but it's really good. It's bizarrely enjoyable to watch.
I don't know if you've seen it. He went viral for a bit because he's like this. I'm sure he's from New Zealand. Have you ever seen Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah.
He sounds exactly like Korg for Thor Ragnarok, and he doesn't want people to sub or to donate. He just wants people to like watch him do what he does. So everyone, instead of doing that, obviously being Twitch, everyone subs and donates.
Yeah.
And you should see him. He's always like, "Oh, can I give you that money back?"
Yeah. Perhaps I should try that. I'll tell people I don't want you to sub, and then they'll sub.
It may work. So... It may work. So tell us what is on the channel.
On my channel, we play most first-person shooters. Call of Duty definitely is our main game that we play, but we also play Ghost Recon Breakpoint when it works.
I've heard some stories about that.
yeah. We won't go into too much detail about Ubisoft. And we do Minecraft and things like that, but we also do a viewer's choice stream once a week.
Really?
So we put out a vote for people to choose what game. And it tends to be a combination of either a fighter game or a survival game or just something really ridiculous.
Yeah.
And a couple of weeks ago, I stupidly made a bet with a Canadian streamer that I'm friends with. Once I become affiliate and I got my camera set up, I would do a full live stream in a pink dress. And he said, "Mate, if you do it, I'll give you 10 subs." His missus said, "I'll give you 5 subs." So naturally, I went straight onto Amazon, ordered my dress, and straight in 4 hours wearing a nice pink lacy cocktail dress.
Well, if you do us a favour and you let us know when that's going to be, we'll make sure we host that, okay?
Well, I've now, because that stream's already happened, but I've now got channel points where people can do a costume change into the dress.
I like that. So, well, I think we could probably invest in that. So
I mean, it's. I tell you, don't knock it. It's the most comfortable thing. I've never felt so free in my life.
I rate that.
Free in mind and body.
That's it.
Yeah. My wife and kids found it highly hilarious. They couldn't look at me for the rest of the night. I felt wonderful.
It's a bit of a niche stream when you go in and the guy's sitting there wearing a dress, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Start calling
well, I mean, it's surprising how many blokes in my stream asked me to do a twirl and give them a bit of a indecent exposure kind of thing.
Well, in for a sub, it's one of these things.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned affiliate there. Could you tell us if you've got any channel or community-based goals?
Yeah, so, I mean, the clan that I guess I'm the founder of is Code 6 Gaming. Mm-hmm. We were something else before then, but then that group of friends all disappeared, so I started up a new one. And it's doing quite well. I mean, we're on Discord, and one of the things that we are prioritising is supporting small streamers.
Yeah.
So anyone that comes into our channel, into our Discord, we try, either myself or other Code 6 members will try and get in their streams, give them the views, give them a bit of encouragement and get them to their affiliate. So that's kind of what we're about, and I've made some really good friends through it. In terms of streamers, I've got friends or people that I would class as friends in America and Canada and all around the world. So it's a good feeling to know that many people now.
It's a nice community.
It sounds good, because that's like we so we have been doing a wee bit of Twitch streaming as well, along with the podcast. I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, Minecraft, stuff like that. And it is one of those things where, unless you've got something like that, it's quite hard to get those unless you're exposed of sort of, or to some sort, it's quite hard to do. So it's good to see that you guys are doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, me and another guy, the Big Nasty Man in particular, we've always sort of got 3 tabs open with various people's streams, just popping in and out, having conversations, and it gets quite confusing. Like tonight, I've been watching a couple of guys that are playing together, but I've got their streams open, so I get everything twice, and it's confusing. So
we need to mute 2 of them.
Yeah, so yeah, no, but I mean, it's good. You know, there is a real sense of support and community. Like one of the guys in another Discord that I speak to, who's also in mine, he's been helping me set up some bots in my Discord and, you know, linking things. So it's a massive community that we're a part of.
That's good.
And it's great fun, yeah.
So I think it's important, especially when you're trying to reach affiliate goals, which, if you're new to it, it's actually pretty steep, because you've got 50 followers, which you expect will come with time, but average of 3 viewers, I find that's the tough one when you're heading for affiliate. Yeah,
I mean, I hit 110 followers before I hit my 3 average viewers.
Wow.
So it's, I mean, it happened quite quickly for me, which is really bizarre. I mean, I did it in just over 3 weeks.
Well, that's not bad.
But I mean, that was a lot of networking and jumping into people's streams, and that's what we tell people that say to us, you know, how do you get affiliate? And we always say to them, go into the bigger streams, go into the popular streams, get talking to people. Mm-hmm. They'll soon figure out that you're a streamer, and they'll come to you and check you out and things like that. Yeah. But people, like, there's some people out there that just expect it to happen.
Yeah.
Naturally, because Twitch is a platform that people go to watch video games, so they expect people to naturally fall into their stream. It's like, no, you really got to spend a lot. You spend more time networking than you do streaming, I would say.
Yeah.
So
worth it in the long term. Definitely. So, final question is, if you could have one famous person join you on stream, whether it's someone dead or alive in the past or whatever, who would it be and why?
It would have to be Tim the Tap Man.
Oh, yeah. We were speaking about him earlier.
Yeah, that's right. Honestly, that guy cracks me up. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen him trying to play Fall Guy.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And the fact that the developers and the community of Fall Guy is ripping him because he cannot get a win.
But saying that, he finally had one last night, was it?
Oh, he got one, did he?
He did.
Brilliant.
He had
I mean, his
viewers.
His play style and his rages and things, they entertain me over video. So I'd love to experience one firsthand, you know what I mean? And just hear him go off his nut with anger. So,
that's the thing though, because he got that win in front of 57,000 viewers, and was like, you just start screaming, he's like, let's go, and then it's like, it's just seeing like his whole chat was nuts, and then he was like, listen, I can't read chat, I can't read donations, I can't read subs, and I think he got 5,000 subs in 10 minutes.
Yeah, in one 6-hour sitting. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, that was in the final 10 minutes for 5,000 subs.
Jesus. I mean, if I had the opportunity to tell him, I'd let him know that my 10-year-old daughter had 3 wins before he got 1. But yeah. Oh. Hopefully he'll find the funny side to that. But.
Well, I believe so. There's 3 members of our podcast. Craig is streaming Fall Guys during the week and at the weekends at the moment, so we'll try and jump in on that, and we'll jump in on your streams, and we'll keep an eye out for Fall Guys as well.
Yeah, Fall Guys will come to my channel, I'm sure. So,
definitely.
What is it? You is it PS4, PC, Xbox?
Yeah, so at the moment I'm streaming directly from PS4.
Nice.
So it's there is plans to get a streaming PC set up, but obviously getting the right equipment takes time. So
it's an expensive game getting a PC set up.
Yeah, exactly. So there we go.
Well, thank you for that. I think you're your first ever streamer feature. We'll have all your links in the description, but if you want to plug it once more, feel free.
It is twitch.tv/I'mEnglish995.
Perfect, thank you.
All right then, guys.
Okay, so we have our next streamer feature. Could you tell us your name?
Yes, my stream name is O Arsenal with X.
Okay, and where can people find your stream?
People can find me on Twitch and YouTube in the future, and usually in the evenings around 9:30 or 10 p.m.
Okay, perfect. How long have you been streaming for?
I've been streaming since 2015, but I just got serious this year, actually, after Mixer shut down.
Yeah, there was a big shift when Mixer happened, definitely. But we spoke about this recently. It's almost like people are now moving between Twitch and YouTube. It's bizarre. Big migration. So why did you start streaming?
I started because I've always had a love for video games since I was really young. Watching my cousins play when they didn't let me play, so it was kind of okay, I'll just watch. But then I enjoyed Super Mario, and now it's just I want to stream too. I want others to enjoy me, watching video games and sharing that passion with others.
Yeah, kind of get the same feeling that you had when you were watching, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So tell us, what do you do /play on your channel?
I play Rainbow Six a lot.
Siege?
I also play. Yes, I love Siege. I play Dead by Daylight, and I like Black Ops 3 Zombies.
Oh, I've not played Black Ops 3 Zombies in a while. Jeez. That's a good. Never know. Next COD might have zombies. We were speaking about this earlier.
I really hope so.
Yeah, that's honestly one of the best things that came from the Treyarch version of COD.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So tell us about your channel or /community and what your goals are for it.
I don't really have a big community right now, but I do have my number one goal, and it's to help others. I really want to I know when it comes to streaming, you get big, you have the income, and then my income, I'm not really materialistic, so it's more of I want to give back to my community, help others, and help others grow too, not just, I think everyone should be able to do that,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, completely agree.
We were just talking. I don't know if you've ever seen him. I can't remember his name, but there's a guy from New Zealand who streams himself woodworking, and he constantly just says I don't want any subs, I don't want any donations, and every single time people just sub and donate, and it's so funny because he gets the donation, he's like, oh man, can I give you that money back? And all you see is no's in the chat, and he's such a cool guy. But yeah, it's stuff like that, and that obviously sounds similar to you. Giving back is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is.
I think that's big for quite a lot of streamers now, being able to give back to their community. In fact, we spoke to I Am English, who's another streamer, and he was saying it was he's the founder of a Discord group. Yeah, Code 6. And so it's a group that brings streamers together so they can all help each other grow. I mean, I think that's quite important. So even though he's having success and he's reaching affiliate, he's going back and he's able to help others who are trying to start out.
Yeah, definitely.
Very important. So, next question is, if you could have one famous person join you on stream, whether they're dead or alive, so they can be from the past, who would it be and why?
Okay, so it goes back to my goal. I don't know if you guys know who Mr. Beast is.
Yeah.
Yes, I would love for him to be on my stream because I feel we have the same goals. I'm not really into like I said, I'm not materialistic. Yes, you can go get slime. Sorry, that's that's my 5-year-old.
That's okay.
But yeah, him. Yeah, definitely. I think we could do great things.
Yeah, that's a good call. I think Mr. Beast is a great call. Our last streamer feature said Tim the Tapman. So, also a good call. Just great personalities to have.
I think Mr. Beast as well. He recently tweeted that that he pretty much is running his main channel at a loss so that he can make good videos, and he's doing his other 2 channels to make the revenue for the main channel, and he's also then any profit he's going to make 2 charities. so that he can then give back to like the local community and stuff, which is really cool.
It's great seeing
And
that.
planted what was it, over 1 million trees?
Really?
I
mean, he did that too.
It's impressive seeing a streamer get to that level and they're still focused on community and charity and almost like that circular thing so they can feed back in. Definitely. That's great. That's been our second streamer feature. Where can people find you? Or do you want to plug your channel or any socials?
Yeah, you guys can find me on YouTube. It's just Arsenal with the X instead of the R. And you guys can also find me on Instagram and Twitter. It's just Arsenal.
Perfect. And you're streaming... you're streaming later tonight, but we're recording this ahead of time. So when will you be streaming next week?
Next week, I stream every day at 9 p.m.
Every day at night. What time zone is that, sorry?
That's Pacific Standard, I
think.
PST.
Yeah, so South Carolina PST.
Here we go. Prepare.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Great. Thank you for that.
How did it go? How did the streamer feature go? What was the feedback like from the guys that you spoke with?
Oh, they were really nice. They were brand new. They were really appreciative of us, and I was like, no, you're doing us a favour, and it was really nice that way. You're like, thank you, and they're like, no, thank you.
That's the big thing I've noticed about Twitch is that when you reach out to someone, 9 times out of 10, if you just show them a bit of interest, speak to them on the stream, speak to them on their stream, follow them, maybe host, they turn that favour back over 9 times out of 10. Yeah. They really do. And I think the big thing about us is us going forward is that as much as we're predominantly a podcast, we're all about bringing on people with an outside perspective. Like the whole aspect is we want to speak to people who's put time into something. So if we can shout out a streamer who's put time into their channel and vice versa, obviously promote ourselves from being on the episode, it benefits both parties, and that's what we're all about.
100%. And thanks again to the guests that were on. Their socials, their links will all be in the description, so you can go find them. Social media will have clips from their channels, hopefully, going up during the week, so look out for that as well.
Cool.
With that being said, let's get into the second half, which will be YouTube. So everyone's aware of it. It's part of Google, traditionally a recorded video platform. So you could argue it's not as natural because people could, edit videos, whereas Twitch, it's there. You can't put on a persona for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, or whatever people stream.
Yeah.
So you've got to bear that in mind. But the gaming side of it seems to be growing and might overtake Twitch or something. Probably, I would say in the near future. I wouldn't say in the next few years, but maybe in the next year, maybe that time scale. Does that sound about right to you?
I don't know. I feel as though it could be sooner because, like what you said about Twitch versus Mixer, YouTube is the first real video platform, and YouTube's numbers as a whole, I don't know physically, but I would put money on that it's far bigger than Twitch's.
Oh yeah.
And I don't mean streaming; I just mean numbers per views.
Yeah.
It is monumental, and I think if they get it right, they've already got all that viewership. And I actually watched a video recently. To be honest, it's someone I'm not actually that keen on, but he made really good sense, and it was Mini Mentor, who's part
Simon.
of.
Sideman.
Yeah. I do like the Sideman. I'm just not too sure about him, but he spoke about how he's moved across to more the sort of YouTube side for streaming as well. I know Vic's been doing a lot of it, Vicstar.
Yeah.
And his explanation is that I've already got how many million viewers. The minute I go live, they all get that notification, and it's a format that they understand and can click on instantly. Twitch is something additional that I need to sell them.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're not on Twitch already, my fans, I have to say, look, go onto this platform. This is how it works. Yeah. But with YouTube, they're already comfortable. So I think certainly larger scale YouTubers, if they can convert their audience fairly quickly to that platform with streaming, I do think it'll overtake Twitch, and I don't think it'll be too long. I would give it a year, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's why that was able to get off the ground quick, whereas other platforms maybe wouldn't, because it's already got the viewership there on their website. So I was going to ask, who do you watch? I think the obvious one is we all enjoy Sidemen. I think anyone our age finds them hilarious. Individually, they've all got good channels, but when they combine, oh my god, some of them are banger videos. If you look at the Tinder, the holidays, they're just
the Tinder's brilliant. See, for me, like, they're all decent guys. And see, when you see them get interviewed individually out with their channels, they're just decent guys. It's very animated in what they do. Yeah. Obviously, because it's almost a way of selling a product. It's selling views, but I enjoy them for the Simon Sunday stuff because the production of it is better than a lot of TV shows.
Yeah,
and it's really, really entertaining. But the sort of guys that I watch, my favourite YouTuber is actually a group trio like ourselves, which is really cool, and they're called Hat Films, and I've been watching them since 2009, maybe 2010, and they started off. 3 guys, ages with myself. Well, I think they're actually a year older. They went to uni and they studied media and video design and all this sort of thing. And they started making trailers for Minecraft, and Minecraft actually hired them. And now they make YouTube content, but it's not that animated sense of they over-exaggerate things. They're very, very honest, but they also give you quite a good mix of, like what the Sidemen do, they give you a good mix of live sort of face-to-face interaction, so physical things that they're doing, but they also do gameplay, a gameplay side of things as well. And the fact that they've started from pretty much the start of YouTube and went all the way through it and incorporated things like Twitch, etc., they give a really good perspective on it.
Yeah.
So apart from that, and to be honest, he's probably the main reason why why I'm doing this now. I think Brian from True Geordie has hands down changed the platform of YouTube and podcast. And I think for a guy who had a rant about Newcastle Football Club, and he looks like a complete and absolute fug in it, to now producing, he's our version of Joe Rogan, and he would love to hear that comment because he idolises Joe Rogan. But
I think he's better than Joe Rogan. I'll tell you why. I think he's down to earth and everybody relates to him. Joe Rogan's a bit removed. I think True Geordie, you would still see him down the pub, you know what I mean? Definitely. I reckon you could still go up to him and say, True Geordie, listen to that, it was really funny, you want a pint? And he'd be like, go on then.
No, he's not lost that honest side of him and that working class side, which is great. He's obviously made money, but I think
Hat Films... It's funny when he talks about it, he's dead brutal and honest. Lawrence as well, they're just...
they're good.
Yeah, they're not far removed. If you would just think you were talking with the guys. One thing you have to mention with him is that he might look like a big hard man, but he's genuinely a nice guy. Like every year... They do a stream on Christmas Day for people who are maybe struggling or don't have anyone or anything to do, and so you can jump on that and get like 1-2 hours streaming with stream with the guys, and it's a live podcast. It's funny. It's just things like that. You don't get many people doing that.
No, but for me, they're 2 big standouts. I'm trying to think some of the other ones. Well, I don't know. I don't know. What about you?
A good person to talk about. It's probably Dr. Disrespect, because that's another big... It's not good for Twitch if you ask me, but hear me out on this one. So, Dr. Disrespect, he went to Twitch and he got banned. There was a stream where he seemed visibly angry during it. I don't know if that was related, I haven't followed it that closely. But then I thought
it was about when he went to the toilet. Was it not he filmed when he went to the toilet at some gaming show? And he got charged and he got banned from Twitch for a period of time.
Wow. Well, regardless, this guy's went to YouTube and he got 500,000 viewers on his stream talking about it, which is just insane numbers if you're talking streaming. And so straight away you're thinking, well, that's 2 big names in Ninja and Dr. Disrespect. You're looking at guys like Vicstar, maybe even... is Benny Central on Twitch? Not sure, but if you look at Courage JD, you know, the biggest names in the game, they're all moving over. How long before a few of the other big names think, okay, I'm the biggest on Twitch, which is good. I'm always going to be top of the directory, but even if I'm top 10 on YouTube, I'm getting more views, therefore more money. You know what I mean? I think it will shift very soon.
No, I think you're right. And going back to the YouTube side, I would argue YouTube has broke a lot more records than Twitch. People might prove me wrong, but look, for example, the YouTube boxing scene. I love boxing. Like, you know, I'm a massive boxing fan. By the way, if you haven't seen
spoiler alert,
if you haven't seen the Dillian White Povetkin match, go watch that uppercut. It is the best uppercut you will ever see. But think about the YouTube boxing scene. what he'd done for boxing. People argued about, sort of purists of the sport says, oh, that's ridiculous, it shouldn't be happening. But look at the viewership and fan base it brought to boxing.
You cannot
and the money. They made fucking millions of money from it.
Well, did you hear the Gypsy King, your favourite boxer, talking about it, and he said, listen, I'm not following it close. That being said, I think anything that brings more profile to the sport is good. And almost every pro boxer said the same thing. It's no one that gets a huge amount of coverage because boxing matches are so infrequent, especially at the top tier. So something like this is brilliant. It's getting a lot of the young audience into the sport. Yeah,
but things like that, they've done the one that, was it Logan Paul set up, the racing?
The Challenger Games.
The Challenger Games.
Paul. Wait, was it?
No, I think it was Logan.
Okay.
If it was Jake Paul, remove it from the podcast. I don't want anything of his name mentioned.
He's a fucking dick.
He's a scumbag.
I don't care where or when that fight is between him and KSI. I'll stay up and watch it. I'd be tempted to go just because I hate the cunt that much.
I wouldn't watch it because I watched his last fight and the guys, for an I know he's technically a professional boxer, but for an amateur boxer, he's pretty good. He's by far the best YouTuber boxer I've seen, and I think KSI, because he's had such a focus on music, which I'm going to touch on very briefly, is that I just don't see him winning that fight. He's got so much going on. All Jake Paul's doing at the moment is focusing on fighting. I know he's doing a bit of music, but I just don't see him winning. I really want KSI to beat him, but I think KSI knows there's a massive risk fighting that guy.
100%. But I mean,
massive.
If you look at the size and the build of Logan, he was a lot bigger. And don't get me wrong, technically, he was probably a bit better. But when you watched, did you watch the last one? Yeah,
I did, mate. Yeah.
So you got the first few rounds. Logan was probably getting the better of him. See at the end when it just came down to pure heart and pure just slugging it out and determination. No question, JJ had that in stats.
Oh, he had the heart of a lion.
This will come to it as well. I think Jake Paul would be really rigid and just, no, this is the technique, this is the way I do it. Whereas JJ would just be like, nah, no working, switch it, we're going to do this. And he would win. I'm fairly confident in that.
I hope so. But one of the things I was going to touch on YouTube as well, and what it's done that Twitch hasn't, is the music scene. And I'm going to use JJ, KSI, whatever you want to call him, as an example. And to be honest, when I first watched him, I thought he was a dick. I was like, I cannot be bothered with this guy. But when you actually see him being interviewed normally, and he separates himself, so he calls himself JJ, and then KSI's the YouTube side.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I'm not a fan of that sort of genre of music that he's releasing. But the music that he's releasing, it's literally hit after hit after hit. And I've actually found myself listening to it on Spotify saying, this is a YouTuber who's releasing chart-topping music. Like what was that? His album went to second. Do you know what I mean?
The thing that he said, if it came to first, he would go
shave his head. Yeah, he was going to shave his head.
And it was rocking up, and you could tell he was shitting himself.
Aye, but they're just some examples about the kind of difference of what YouTube's done to Twitch. Both platforms, there's a place for both platforms, but I feel as though if YouTube set up properly, they can give the whole package.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that's spot on. A few other things we need to say. One thing is that it's something that I thought we could possibly do. So there's a little phase where people on YouTube were doing Poker Stars things. And True Geordie, one of the most recent ones, I can't remember his name, I think it's Charlie. He's a pro poker player, but genuinely nice guy. If you go into True Geordie's YouTube channel, you'll see the highlights, or you can watch his full stream where he was playing in a poker tournament. A bit dangerous. I mean, you'd have to add a delay so people couldn't tune in, watch it, and see what hands you had. But I would recommend going doing that. So it's maybe something we could do sometime. We could stream playing Poker Stars or having a game between us or something. Get some other guys involved.
Yeah, I think the big thing between Twitch and YouTube is that Twitch, you can get away with doing live gaming commentary, and that's it. I think when you want to seriously do YouTube, at some stage it has to become a visual connection, so you have to see, you have to do some live stuff, whether it's vlogging or in person. And I think we've obviously discussed this in quite extensive terms, but we're working towards that. We want to build a viewership before we kind of release that side of us, and a poker idea would be great. I know we've discussed some other options. All I'll say is that certainly in the next upcoming weeks, I think you're probably going to touch on it in a bit anyway. We've got some really, really exciting announcements, and we're working towards some sort of more in your face sort of a personal connection sort of content as well. But yeah,
we'll discuss that a bit at the end, because I think that's some of the best news we've had since we've started.
Definitely. It's just a shame Bundy isn't here with us today, but
that's okay. I can edit him in. I can phone him and edit it in.
All you hear in the background is just say, "Oh yeah."
Oh, when he does that in stream, it kills me, man. But
or a chewy.
And it works.
I'm not.
Now you've said it, I think I can hear it in the distance.
I can hear a distant echo.
So for me, one last thing I wanted to shout out, as if no one else has seen it. I think everybody will know who Ali A is. He's a YouTuber. He's been around for a while. He's done COD. I think he's more Fortnite and Apex Legends now. But he had an intro theme for a while that was quite basic. And if you type in Ali A intro meme compilation, you will not be disappointed. Not the one that he does a video on, because he picks all the PG ones. Pick the ones that are just, like his theme mixed with a fake taxi scene. It is gold.
I mind you sending me that, actually.
And it was the best one by a mile. One thing before we get to the outro, Craig. Currently, as we're recording, it's half time between PSG and Bayern Munich in the Champions League final. You got a prediction for that?
Bayern. Yeah. Bayern win.
Bayern are favourites. They're almost sitting about evens now.
I would go with Bayern, mate. I think Bayern are a very, very resilient team. I think when PSG are on form, they're technically better, but Bayern, they've got that German grit behind them. Like, they will battle their way to a win. They'll overpower you in a game as well. They're a very physical team.
That being said, I think PSG have what's the terminology for it? A good chance at like a counter attack and just a really pacey, quick goal. But Bayern Munich are dead systematic. Anyway, we'll move on. Outro will be thanks for listening. We'll have the links to social media and to the streamer features. So again, thanks to I Am English for, I think he was the first one. I believe he was. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at her name. It's O'Haxnell. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. OHAXSENAL on Twitch, who's live every night at 9. I believe it's Pacific Eastern time. And I Am English, who's UK time. So thank you guys for being our streamer features. We've got 2 lined up for next week.
Okay.
If all goes to plan. Because we had a nightmare arranging interviews and we couldn't get things to work. But hopefully we'll be ahead of time, because there shouldn't be any technical issues next week. Bear with me.
You just doing a wee stop, are you?
Yeah, because I've lost my notes. Oh, here we go. So, as Craig alluded to, we are looking into some affiliation, brand deals, sponsorship, whatever you might call it, 2 in particular. So we'll hopefully have confirmation and be able to promote these a bit during the week. Is that right?
Well, certainly the way in which we work with the podcast, obviously there's 3 members and we all have equal trust within it. So we kind of segregate tasks, and I've went on and worked on one, which, yes, we'll be able to announce, and I think Ewan as well. Yours is pretty much looking like you'll be able to announce this week as well. Is that right?
Yep, all going well this week.
Don't hold us to
keep
that.
an eye on social media. It'll be up as soon as we know. We'll put things up, and guys and girls can get involved. Anyone who watches or listens. Streams this week. Are you planning on streaming this week, Craig?
I think so, mate. Yeah. So I don't know when. This is the thing. I really want to set up a stream schedule, but with me recently going back to work full time, it's a bit mental. I get married in 3 weeks' time, so it's a bit. I'm not sure what days, but certainly I'll be streaming. To be honest, I was going to ask you, I've been streaming Fall Guys. I'd done a little bit of Rocket League until I got banned. That's another story. It was a mistake. It was nothing malicious.
Craig's Rocket League addiction is being fed by Fall Guys because he just plays it until he gets the football game.
No, I'm like, yes, finally. But one thing I will say about Fall Guys, I'm enjoying it, but it gets tiresome very, very quickly.
Yeah. When you get a run of the same courses over and over again, it gets frustrating, and it is a fucking difficult game.
I think the big thing for us is because we are streaming on different devices. When we get to the stage that we can all stream in one place together, I think games like that will work really well. But I'll probably look at doing some Fall Guys, probably some Rocket League. I wanted to touch on you before I answer any more. What's your sort of ideas looking at? Because I know you've got your PlayStation set up pretty well now.
Oh, good question. Well, I tried streaming from my laptop, didn't go well. Tried streaming from my Xbox, was okay. Went from the PS4 and it was great.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to Fall Guys, it'll be PS4.
Okay.
When I'm doing my Skyrim playthrough, I'll need to go back to Xbox, which I want to finish because I'm getting to the good bit. So I've been told.
Mate, you took like an hour to get to the first quest marker.
Didn't I?
That was one stream.
I had to go round a fucking mountain. It was like an hour stream, and I was like, okay, so I've got to the first marker. And the whole time you were shouting at me through Twitch chat, through a separate chat. You're like, fuck it, I'm going to get a drink.
I can't do it. I was about to phone you and be like, fucking just put me on speaker.
On the brighter side of things, I'm actually planning on playing COD, but what I was thinking was if we can maybe get some other people who stream it, any of these games, we can get them involved, especially for COD, get a group of 4 for Warzone or something.
Yeah.
And the big one for me is that I'm as you'll probably have guessed, sweaty Destiny player. I haven't played in about 2 months, so I'm starting to get the shakes and I'm getting withdrawal symptoms.
Stop it.
Not next week, the week after, I'll be away for a few days. When I come back, I'm going to have time off work, so I'm planning on getting sweaty, getting up to scratch, catching up, preparing for the expansion in October, so that when that comes out, I've got another week off and I can just sweat it hard. People will ask how I get rid of my holidays. That's how what happened. New game came out, new expansion. My holidays are pretty much the fucking Destiny schedule. Oh, it's tragic.
I'm not even going to comment, but no, what?
I had my head in my hands when I was saying that. That's how bad it
is. But no, it's certainly. I think what we want to do is do a mix of games, and obviously we can't dwell on it too much. Bundy's been a bit unwell recently. We're wishing him a speedy recovery. Yep. When he's back up and recovered, he's very, very keen to get back and finish Ghost of Tsushima. And I think he's going to go back and look at God of War as well.
Yep.
And he actually streamed Fall Guys 2 days. No, was it Saturday? Yesterday. Yeah, he streamed yesterday, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, so
he is the best out of us three, I would reckon.
It's streaming, well, I was going to say it's streaming as a whole, but he's not better than me at Fall Guys. No chance.
I think we need a competition here. I think you've thrown down the gauntlet. Say 5 games. Your final position will take that off of, say, or we'll work out who has the smallest score at the end. We'll do it that way.
Yeah, but no, I think that's kind of what streaming looks like. Unfortunately, I don't have a schedule. We're just not at that stage yet. I think that's fair to say.
I mean, because we're all juggling the one channel, it's hard to make a schedule because work, life, that sort of thing.
But again, it benefits as well where one of us can't, we step in. So it's quite funny because obviously I've done a bit of a push at the start of the week on Twitch, speaking to people. And when I join, when the Time and Podcast joins the stream, people are like, oh, hey, Craig. And it's like, no, it's you. It's Monday.
We did think about making separate ones, but really what you're doing is dividing your viewership by 3.
Yeah. And again, we're very, very fortunate that we have 3 of us and we're all doing different things and bring different things to us as well. So
I think that's a proper variety channel. It's not even the same streamer you
get. Definitely. But no, I think that's kind of me for sort of stream schedule. What I would say is, I know you're talking about announcements. Why don't we agree potentially to do an announcement sort of midweek for one and then maybe yeah.
Well, because the other one is going to happen next week at some point, but hopefully by the midweek point. We'll say Wednesday. Wednesday's a good time. Let's
do it for Hump Day. So we'll do that.
Wait, when the fuck is Hump Day?
Hump Day's Wednesday. Do you know Hump Day? Because it's the mid part of the week that you have to get over to get closer to the weekend.
I get that depression on a Monday.
I've got it there now.
Monday through to Thursday usually.
I don't like Sundays. But anyway.
Really?
No, I don't, mate. I don't. I dread a Sunday because all I think is I've got to get up for work tomorrow.
Just saying, we record every Sunday. Noted that Craig dreads it.
We don't record every Sunday. We usually record on a Friday, I'll have you know.
Well, we've had a can or two.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get this tied up. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
So, Ewan, if we go full on professional into YouTube for the Time and podcast, how do we intro a video?
Oh, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Every day.